Anybody that's curious as to why a lot of the older people, mostly those in their 30s and 40s, if you will, if not, younger than that, their 20s, if you will, for anybody that's curious as to why, a lot of us are excited about X-Men 97 debuting next week on Disney Plus, which, by the way, will be a weekly show. It won't be, binge all the episodes at once. It'll be a weekly show. That way you have to tune in every week or turn on Disney Plus every week to watch the show, to see what happens next. For anybody that's wondering why we're excited about this, it's because basically the way the original ended, some would say was a decent ending, but some would also say that there was more story to tell. Like, basically now you're wondering how do the X-Men operate without Xavier there and everything. And that's basically what this show is doing. In fact, they even uploaded on the Marvel Entertainment YouTube page a behind-the-scenes look. But one of the creators behind it basically said that this is not a reboot, it's a continuation, a next-day continuation of the show. So basically that's how it's being presented. And you could tell that this is somebody that, just by the looks of it, I could be wrong, grew up on the original and wanted to see a continuation of it. And that's why a lot of people are always excited when they hear the announcement of a new show, a new version of the original show coming that serves not as a reboot, but as a continuation. As a next day, like they mentioned here, a next day scenario, like what happens a week later or 24 hours later and everything. And that's why a lot of people are excited when you have a group of legitimate fans working within the business itself to bring Sonic Satayam back to the small screen and continue it with a cliffhanger for season 2 left off. That's kind of what the feeling is. That's kind of what the jive is, if you will, with these kind of shows getting this treatment. And with X-Men, they're exploring a lot more scenarios, when it comes to the story. Like, obviously, they're going to explore and talk about how they got Bishop on the team, how they, got Sunspot, I think, on the team, or whatever his name is, on the team that becomes the love interest of Jubilee, how Morph goes from what he is to what we see, and so on. And there's a lot of clues, a lot of hints, and Easter eggs in the initial trailer, in these behind-the-scenes trailers, like this one that dropped today, which are going to have a lot of people speculating. Comic Book Cast 2, CBCYT, if you will, on Twitter, but Comic Book Cast 2, they uploaded a video about a week or two ago where the main host of, that YouTube channel basically said that they feel, based on some of the toys that are being released or being previewed for release and everything, that there's a lot more that's going to be happening in the series than what's being let on. For example, there's, talk of, whether or not the Jean Grey we see that's pregnant and everything is the real Jean Grey or if it's Madeline Pride. And there's a lot of evidence, if you will, in this behind-the-scenes trailer that would kind of indicate that that might be the case. That might be the case and everything. But how they explain that occurring, how they explain that came to be, we'll have to see. It looks like we're going to get our answers maybe midway in the show. I'm not saying that's true. But we're going to get some kind of answer. We're going to get some kind of answer and everything. And I've got a feeling Madeline Pry, if that is the direction to go in, when she confronts Jean, yeah, she's going to pretty much get a butt kicked, legitimately. She's going to get a butt kicked because of this. So, yeah, it definitely, so yeah, there's definitely some vibes that they might do something like that based on the behind the scenes here. And I mean, if you got Sinister coming in as like a main villain, like the main baddie for season 1, because there is going to be more seasons apparently. If you got him coming in as the main baddie, and part of the storylines that they like to adapt involve, him creating a clone called Madeline Pry to infiltrate the X-Men, as Jean, while he has the real Jean captive. That doing that kind of a storyline, I think is going to be worth the watch, just to see that confrontation between Madeline and Jean, and maybe Madeline's explanation of, hey, I'm being what you should be, and all that. That might be interesting to see, but we'll have to basically just tune in every week and basically see what they do, see what direction they go in for this, because they do have the list of episodes out, basically that they're going to go by on a weekly basis. So what they have basically, and this is the release dates for them, but these are the episodes that they have. On the 20th, we're going to get back-to-back episodes with episode 1 and 2 called To Me, My X-Men, and then the second one is Mutant Liberation Begins. Those are both on the 20th. And then the 27th, we have Fire Made Flesh, which could be an indication to Jean Grey coming back, or Madeline Pry being created. Then we have a unique one. It's kind of like 2 episodes, but the second episode, a mini-sode, if you will, it's 2 mini-sodes, it looks like. It's called, the fourth one is called More Tendo, and then Life and Death. It's called More Tendo, it's Motendo, More Tendo, and then the other mini-sode is called Life and Death Part 1, or Life Death Part 1, that's what it's called. It's called, episode 4 is basically More Tendo, Life Death Part 1. Then episode 5 is Remember It. I'm thinking that's going to have to do with Wolverine. Then episode 6 is Life Death Part 2. So they're going to hold off on the second part of Life Death until a week later. Then Bright Eyes is episode 7, and then episode 8 to 9 will be Tolerance is Extinction. Those are the episodes. So to begin, they're going to have To Me, My X-Men and Mutant Liberation Begins on the 20th, Fire Made Flesh on the 27th, and that's all in March. And then to begin in April, we have More Tendo / Life Death Part 1. Then on April 10th, we have Remember It. Then on April 17th, we have Life Death Part 2. Then Bright Eyes on April 21st. And then May 1st, May 8th, and May 15th is Tolerance is Extinction. So just going by those names, you can kind of figure out exactly what we might get, if you will. And there is a cast of names here. So here we have Ray Chase is going to be Cyclops. We're going to have Jennifer Hale as Jean Grey, possibly Madeline Pry. We have Allison Seeley Smith, Storm. Kyle Dode as Logan. J.P. Carlick, J.P. Carlick as Morph. We're going to have Limor Zan as Rogue, George Bunza as Beast, AJ Lo Casco as Gambit, Holly Chow as Jubilee, Isaac Robinson Smith as Lucas Bishop, Matthew Watterson as Magneto, Adrian Howe as Nightcrawler. It says also starting the series will be Mr. Sinister. They got the voice actor for him. They got Sunspot coming in. Xavier will be in it. We have Daniel Lowe Forge will be in it. We got the Sentinels, of course. We have a new character voiced by Catherine Disher, Valerie Cooper, a doctor with her own agenda. We have Chris Potter back, I think he's back, as Cable. Lawrence Bain as Executioner. Ron Rubin as Robert Edward Kelly, the president, and Allison Court as Abecia. And additionally, you have Jeff Bennett in there in an undisclosed role. Theo James has been in an undisclosed fan favorite character role. And Hellfire members Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw will appear along with Vovelin Trask. And my computer right now is doing a load again. But yeah, those are the episodes and the voice actors and everything coming up. And some of them are the original VA cast with a few exceptions. But yeah, just based on the titles and everything, it definitely feels like they're, really going to give us, something to talk about. Going into the second season, because another season is planned apparently, because Tolerance is Extinction is the season finale, so we are going to get another season. And you got the Fire Made Flesh episode, which really gives off like Phoenix vibes and and everything. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people, like I said, are going to have a lot of hints thrown at them, a lot of Easter eggs thrown at them with the teaser trailer already, and then the behind-the-scenes look. So it's going to be fun to really dissect and really fun to just watch and see what happens. Because I know, again, I think if they go to Madeline Pryor route with the Jean Grey situation, people are going to look forward to that whole Jean Grey Pryor confrontation. And wonder why, she would do this and all that, or why, this would be allowed to happen. So there's no doubt we're going to see that. And we might even see a bit of the Phoenix power come out of Jean to take down Pryor. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Animation looks great. Definitely in this behind-the-scenes trailer, you can tell that the animation has been upped, if you will. So what we got in the teaser was just like not completely, fluided or finished. You can tell it's getting there here with this behind-the-scenes deal. But let me know what your thoughts are on X-Men '97. What are you looking forward to it the most? And until then, I am out.